the debate around politics continue to leverage. And of course, as we speak now, the Forum for Democratic Change candidate, that is Nathan Nanda Mafabi, is supposed to make his way to Entebbe today. And of course, everything is laid as expected. I've not seen any security, maybe kind of deployment along the streets and everything. But of course, the day is still quite fresh for us to track what may happen, and we expect him to be here in Entebbe. But for record purposes that we have seen from the presidential candidates earlier, maybe, in the 2021 elections, that it was only General Mugisha Muntu who made his way to Entebbe, was supposed to go to Chigungu, Nachuga, and the rest, but when he reached Katabi, traffic lights was diverted to go to the playground, which was nearby. So we do not know whether Nathan Nandala Mafabi will be accepted to make his way here to rally the voters of Entebbe, of course, to entrust him in the presidency. But also, bringing the conversation back, we have seen from the past that the journalists feel that an election of the current of an election which is happening now is a threat in terms of their security and the rest. For what we have seen in the past, that the journalists have always been a target of the security operatives and the rest. Of course, we saw that in Kawempe, but it is still continuing. So the profession feels threatened. And with this morning, I am joined by a section, or let me say, number of journalists who are just going to make their case in terms of the experience, but also what they have gone through, what they are going through in covering this election session. On my immediate right is Julius Luemba, who is a correspondent for the New Vision in Entebbe, but also my immediate left is also George William Kakoza, who is also a reporter for the CBS. And also the other side is Lawrence Mushabe, who is also a reporter for Next Media, NBS, and the rest. But let me start with you, Julius. I want you to tell us, what do you think of this election in terms of how the journalists are expressing themselves, how they are covering this, and the threats that lie ahead of us in terms of what we're supposed to do in line with this election?
Well, thank you, Ivan. Good morning. The only difference, one of the differences I've realized so far is we've always had...
Get your mic next to you.
We've always had a blame cast onto security officers and personnel in the previous elections. This time, it is twisting a little bit, because actually I'm witnessing that journalists are facing threats also from these political camps, especially the supporters. Of course, there is no independence of journalists. There's nothing as such in these elections, you can realize. Because we've had scenarios where a group of supporters for a particular candidate calling away some journalists, especially attached to different media houses and things like that. They always think that maybe you are inclined onto a particular camp. We've had Honorable Chaguranya, for example, calling out a particular media house that they are not broadcasting his mammoths of crowds. How can you dictate what a media house has to show? We've also seen, for example, if you observe critically enough, NRM, people who cover NRM tend to use some drone shots. I don't think those drone shots are gotten or are shot by the media houses themselves. I believe they are being provided to those particular media houses from a candidate. There's no such thing as independence of the media. But the actual threat, imminent one, in my view, is not really from security personnel now. It's from supporters of these political candidates. And that's really very scaring because we've had scenarios of, in case someone hurts you, you go to court and things like that. With security personnel, you can identify, so and so you have hit a journalist. But when it comes to a political supporter, sometimes you can't even identify them. So you can't have a very good case even in court when you're trying to...
Allow me come back to you. George William Kakoza, you have covered an election. Last time, I think we're nearly beaten with you when we were in Inachugu. But we're making a case of this election this time and the threats that lie ahead of us. Musajja wa Kabaka nti chichi banamawulire kye bayita kati okubeera nti bakwata oba okukavaringa okulonda kuno okuliwo gwe mu ndowoozayo n'okutya kwe tulimu ng'abamawulire. Yes, kuba abamu kati bagamba oli wa kibiina kino kubanga okavaringa kibiina kino, balowooza omunnamawulire naye alina okuba n'ekibiina mwakola kino, batamanya there is what we call independence in what we do. Yes, George William Kakoza.
Okay, webale nnyo, webale ddala muganda Ivan. Abalabi baffe Kwen TV twagala okubeebaza okubeerako enkya ya leero, ate naawe okutuyita ssebo tubeka ebirowoozo bye tukubaganya ku NTV enkya ya leero. Ssebo njagala okusiigira ekifaananyi nti okulonda kw'omulundi guno oba akalulu, okunoonya akalulu k'omulundi guno kifaananyi kirala nnyo eri bannayuganda. Kati ate bannamawulire ate kikyukidde ddala okusinziira ku kitambula ne kye tulaba mu ggwanga. Bannamawulire bafuuse ekizibu mu kalulu. Buli kibiina kirabanga munnamawulire atakikwatira byakyo, ate ekimulina kiraga tyoyo waakyo ennyo. Ng'oli bw'asala okudda eno balabanga ate ye buzibu, bamuyita mbega bawoza yalya. Kati ekyenjawulo ekiriwo nti munnamawulire oyo okufuulibwa ekyenyinyalwa, so nga mu ssemateeka wa Uganda munnamawulire aweereddwa eddembe okukwata n'okufulumya ebintu ku mikutu egy'enjawulo. Naye kyembadde njagala okwogerako olunaku olwaleero nti mu ssemateeka wa Uganda munnamawulire eddembe limuweebwa okukavalinga amawulire. Buli muntu alina okukimanya. Takola ku byabufuzi byokka. Yadde akaseera tuli mu kabyabufuzi. Ne munnamawulire asobola okugenda mu kkooti, asobola okubeera kulaala.
Naye olaba otya safety yo nga munnamawulire?
Olwaleero newankubadde mu 2021 ndi omu ku baakosebwa, naye ku mulundi guno ebyobufuzi nabyewazeemu katono nga saagala nnyo okukosebwa olw'embeera gye tugendamu. Ekyokulabirako ekisooka nti tulina enjuyi bbiri kaŋŋambe eza NRM n'eza NUP. Ezirabika nti zezibaako abantu abangi ennyo. Nga weesanga nti munnamawulire bw'obeera ku nkambi ya NRM ng'okavalinga balowooza gw'oliweeyo tolina kusalodde ku NUP. Naye ekyenjawulo ekiri mu ntebe ekizibu kyalina kimu, ntebe telina political candidate n'omu ku luno nga bwe yali luli yalinamu political candidate naye ate twanonyera leero nayo tetwagiraba. Tetumanyi oba ku luno bano abavuganya bonna banaweebwa omukisa okwetoola ntebe.
Mushabe luli nalaba nga aba opposition baagala kukuba emigo, at least ekyo nakiraba nga bagamba goli wa NRM olimbe nga bakuweerezayo. Naye twogera ku safety y'abamawulire mu kukavaringa kino n'ekirala kye tulina okola mu mateeka n'ekyo kye batulowooleza ku budde buno obuliwo. Yes, Lawrence.
Thank you so much, Ivan, for the opportunity.
Let's be a bit first of all, running out of time.
Okay. To start with, I think we have I personally covered the only one presidential candidate who has come around Entebbe, that is Elton Mabirizi. That was last month. But briefly to say, at least, yes, there was a little bit of military presence, but we did not see a lot of force that we used to see in the other recent concluded presidential elections. So I must say, yes, most especially here in Entebbe, military presence has been there, and also maybe all the other issues. But at least we've not seen the other beatings that we used to see. Now, moving to the other point, most especially the one we talked about, Ivan, yes, it is true. We have majorly two unsafe issues that we have to speak about. The current kind of...
We have about 20 seconds, I'm told, my producer.
That kind of thinking from now the political parties, supporters of parties. Last time I even saw the UBC journalists being brought up from the drone. But I have to say, this is the job, the professional job that we have to do as journalists. We are not here to be affiliated to political parties. We are here to serve under our professional media houses, and we do the best for the country. Maybe also the other one, the last one, is still we have not had answers why security officers have that opportunity to attack the journalists. We have seen journalists being beaten.
They will provide reasons after beating you.
I don't really think that.
Okay. Now, we have run out of time, I am told by my producer. But Julius Lawrence Mushabe, Next Media Services, CBS, George William Kakoza, and Julius, remember, for the New Vision. What you've submitted is really so insightful. But today, you are supposed to cover Nathan and Alamafavi coming to Entebbe. We do not know what will unfold. I also don't know, but we're supposed to cover. But for time reasons, I will not allow the conversation to go beyond this place. And I think on behalf of the entire team, I will take it from Entebbe. And of course, Morning at NTV will now resume tomorrow. These gentlemen are supposed to leave here. That's why we are ending the conversation prematurely. But we're also tracking what the aspirants, of course, have to tell the voters. But for time reasons, allow Morning at NTV for today to take a break. Resume tomorrow, same time, 6:30, 9 a.m.